Hey, readers and writers. The first thing that I would like you to do today is turn and talk with your group, answering the question, what is genre? What do you know about genre? You have 30 seconds. Go ahead and talk. Fifteen seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Hands up top. Good. What is a literary genre? A literary composition characterized by a particular style, form, or content. So you may have discussed in your groups that a genre is a type of book or a style of book. Today's goal is to analyze a new text using my knowledge of genre by completing a genre profile page. So first, let's become a little bit familiar with what these different genres are. I know you've learned them before, but here we are in a new school year, so it may have been some time since you've heard these words. What we're going to do in a moment is a literary genre gallery. So you're going to have 5 minutes of silent circulation. And during this time, you are visiting as many genre posters in the room as you can, focusing on the definition and the characteristics. There will be more on each page, but you want to focus on definition and characteristics. I'll pause the video now for further instruction. Okay, so we had a great 5 minutes of silent circulation, and I think we've become refamiliarized with the various definitions and characteristics of the many genres that exist. So we've been reading My Teacher is an Alien, and what I'd like to do is show you how I'm going to analyze our read aloud text using this genre profile of what we've read so far. So let me pull this up here. So I have my genre profile. And as the profile for the text, my teacher is an alien. And you know when we write the name of a book, that needs to be underlined. I'm going to underline that now. The characters I have in my book, well, I have Susan Simmons. She's the one who's kind of narrating it. We have Duncan Dougal. We had Peter Thompson. We had Mr. Bleakman, the principal. Ms. Schwartz, we've heard about her, but she doesn't actually exist yet, but we know she's a person in the book who's important. And we have Mr. Smith, who's this mysterious teacher who's kind of taken over. So imagine I couldn't remember any of those. I have my book here that I can dive right into after the first couple chapters that we've read. I can go through and look at those names. The setting, the main setting so far, I know that they've traveled at this point to Mr. Smith's house, but the main setting we have is the Kennebec Falls Elementary. And I'm kind of, because I'm typing, it's telling me some of these words are spelled incorrectly, so I am just clicking them, ignoring them, because I know that it's not quite recognizing it. I'll just leave that line there. Moving on to our plot. So these are the events that are happening. So we know who, we know where. Now we need to talk about what. So we've only read a couple chapters. So what we know so far is that Susan is a 6th grader and is super excited about her teacher, Ms. Schwartz. When they come back from break, her teacher is missing and has been replaced with a mysterious and strict man named Mr. Smith. Now notice I kept it brief. We're not diving into a full summary right now. I'm just giving a very brief overview of what I know. My theme, when we talk about a theme, we'll dive into that more later this year, but that's kind of an overarching idea that a text takes on, and unfortunately, being only a couple of chapters in, we are unable to fill that out. You will be able to later on when you read, though. In terms of the structure of the book, I know as I flip through it, what I have are various chapters. And in these chapters, each one is like a scene. I know many people have told me, oh, you keep leaving us hanging, you keep moving on. That's because we hit the end of the chapter and then it moves to a different scene. So we have some very clear pause points in the book, which is really cool. Finally, the language. When I think of language, I think of is this academic language where it's informing me? Is this a type of text that's entertaining me? In this text here, what it's really doing is it's entertaining. So this is more along the lines of like common vocabulary, like a real person is talking. And I know we've had a couple of times where like we've been laughing at what they've been saying. So overall, based on this, I'm going to go back up here, genre profile 4. I know that my text is fiction or a narrative. Pieces of it seem like they're real, but overall, if we're talking about a potential alien in here, I think it's more going to be along the lines of science fiction. So it's more along the lines of science fiction, but I know that the first few chapters are realistic fiction. And that's something that's cool about different books that we can read. We can have some crossover genres. But I feel like when we introduce potential aliens, we're going to end up with more of a science fiction feel. So very quick, very easy, just a quick analysis of what's going on in my text. So what you are going to be doing in just a moment is you're going to be working with a buddy. And there will be 3 different texts on your table. Each one is a different genre, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. With a buddy, you're going to be reading this text for 15 minutes. If you finish early and throughout your entire read, what I want you to think about is what you would put in this genre profile. So you're thinking about the characters, setting, plot, and events, the theme, the structure, and the language for whatever text you're reading. When we're done with that, we will be moving into writing and you will be filling out your genre profile. So I'm going to stop the video now for some questions and some further directions, but I look forward to hearing what you say about the different texts that you'll be reading. Happy reading and happy writing.